Hey everybody, and welcome back to another weather sim forecast. And in today's forecast, we are going to be talking about what we can expect as we head into the next few weeks. And this is going to be a major problem, as not only are we expecting this to impact Thanksgiving travel, this could include delays, this could also include slippery roads, and we could also be talking about some pretty brutal cold air that will surge on down. So it's not just the snow and travel impacts, but given how cold this air is going to be, there's a pretty good chance we will likely be seeing our coldest air of the year so far. And this is really going to be something that you all need to really keep an eye on closely. So make sure you guys are all being weather aware out there. And of course, happy Thanksgiving to you all. I hope your guys' Thanksgiving goes well, and I also hope everything is okay. But like I said, it's really looking like it's going to be a pretty big problem out there. So I first want to start off by talking about what's going to happen between storms and when they roll on through. So the one that we got going on right now is bringing some snowfall up there in the Great Lakes, and I don't know if you guys remember me saying this in the last video, but a lot of this that you see is just, precipitation. It's not really showing the snow, but there's a pretty good bet that this storm right here is going to be producing some lake effect snowfall, as you guys can see, and we will continue to see that as we head not only into tonight, but even as we head into tomorrow morning, which will be Thanksgiving. And then as you can see down here, we do have a second storm that will be rolling on through, and this could be a major problem, guys. This is where snowfall is becoming increasingly likely, and I did take a look at the other models, and like I said, I know it might not be showing that snow on this one, but I did look at other models, and like I said, they were showing this in a very similar way. So this is definitely something, once again, that we're really going to have to watch closely, as it is looking quite likely that this one will be producing quite a bit of snowfall in the Midwest and even parts there, the Ohio Valley, by the time we head into Saturday. So we will definitely need to be weather aware for that, and we will show you guys that snowfall forecast in just a second. And then after that heads out, we will then be talking about another big storm. This one could be just as bad or even worse potentially, as not only does this storm look to bring the potential for some severe weather farther down south across areas of the Gulf Coast and even the southeast, but across the northern part of it, where we're going to kind of have a freezing line, if I can draw that out, but we're kind of going to have a freezing line about right here, I would say. So where you see this band right here is where we could potentially be talking about some snow, and that will be as we head to December 1st, and you can see how that makes its way across the Ohio Valley, and it might even continue to bring some snow and even some rain across parts there, the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. And then after that heads out, we will then start seeing even more of these big storms roll on through once again, just storm after storm after storm rolling on through the same areas. So we need you guys to really make sure you guys are weather aware, and make sure you guys are also paying attention out there too, because like I said, a lot of these storms are going to be very cold, and a lot of these storms also have a good chance of producing a lot of snowfall, including severe weather. So make sure you guys are ready for, once again, potential delays, and make sure you guys are also ready to be on the road too, by making sure your vehicles are ready, make sure you even got an emergency kit included, and also make sure you guys are all having those things set up, which is very, very important given how strange this weather pattern is. Now let's take a look at the snowfall totals, starting off with the GFS model. So, or the European model, I should say. This is actually the European model, as you can see. And this model is showing some pretty strong snowfall amounts across areas of the Rocky Mountains. You guys can see that where you see those purple colors, that's an indication of about 12 to 20 inches of snow right there, as you can see. And then we also got some pretty good snowfall totals expected even out there in the Rocky Mountains. conditions, and we could potentially even be talking about more than that in areas like the UP and Michigan, and even over there in New England, and that will be by the time we head into next week. So we're talking about from now all the way to December 4th, and this is what the European model shows. Now, the GFS model, however, is a pretty big difference, and I just want you guys to understand that the GFS model especially wants to show that freezing line even farther down south than the European model. Look at this. The GFS model is showing that freezing line all the way down to areas of the Ohio River. This is kind of concerning, guys. Now, we don't really want to say that this is going to happen, but once again, where you see those pinks and purples, that is pretty high snowfall totals. We're talking about 6 or even more inches of snowfall where you see those purples, and once again, even those pinks and even those orange colors. And like I said, a lot of this even goes all the way down to the Ohio River. And like I said, this is what's shown on the GFS model specifically, but like I said, it's not really something that we want to say that's going to happen just yet. We're just going to have to see what it shows as we get a little closer, but once again, really going to need to pay attention to this closely, as it does look like we'll likely be seeing a big snowstorm this weekend, and even another big snowstorm by the time we head into next week, which we kind of just showed you on this, and I'll take that back so that way you guys can see. So once again, this right here is going to be that big snowstorm, and like I said, I know it doesn't look like it, but this is definitely one that's gonna have the potential to produce a lot of snow, especially along and north of the Ohio River and even parts there of the Midwest. So yeah. Now, let's talk about this cold air, because this is going to be our next big story, and even going to be our big story while we see that cold air continue. So as you guys can see, we are currently dealing with well below normal temperatures as of right now, especially where you see those purples. So that is really looking like a big surge of cold air. Look at this. We're really seeing that cold air shift even farther down south, even as we head into November 28th, which will be after tomorrow, or even after Thanksgiving to be exact. Now, we do continue to see this roll on through. Look at this. Even colder air could roll on through even as we head into December 2nd. So definitely something that we must continue watching, as we're just going to see more of these big shots of cold air come on in. And once again, this is a sign that we could potentially see our coldest air of the season. Now, that's still not a guarantee just yet, but it is something that is not out of the question, and something that we could very well see by the time we head into this weekend and even early next week. So make sure you guys are weather aware. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, as we will continue to keep you guys up to date with the latest on what we can expect in terms of winter weather. Make sure to also give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to also comment down below, especially if you got any questions, comments, or concerns that you guys have. I'll be glad to answer those, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday out there, and I hope you guys also have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.